clear and compelling product standards?
Well, first off, let's talk about why that's important before we talk even about what it is. If you don't know what you're supposed to achieve, and you haven't had much sign of success in school, unless I know what I'm supposed to achieve, what I'm supposed to do, what it's going to look like when it's done, I'm more likely to turn it off because I feel threatened. If, however, clear and compelling product standards can protect me from, again, another standard we talk about, protection of adverse consequences. If I know what I'm supposed to do and can see clearly what I'm supposed to do, I can practice on my own, I can give myself feedback, I can make an estimate of how close I am to being there without embarrassing myself before my peers or before my teacher. If I know what the standard is, but when a kid has to walk up to the teacher and say, is this all right? They either don't know what the standard is or they do know and they're negotiating. But when you have clear product standards that are compelling to the student, as a kid really cares that they meet the product standard. They really want it to look like that. If you ever watch little children that play, and I've had the occasion over the last decade to watch a lot more of that than I ever did, kids will throw away stuff because that's not right. They'll play with their Nintendos, and they'll look at the thing on the side of the box, and they'll start building whatever it is they see on the side of the box, and they see something that doesn't look right. And so they'll go back and take it apart and make it more like the standard because the box presents the standard to them. Now, sometimes they create their own standard in their head, and they're trying to imagine what they're doing, but they've got a standard, and they'll know when it's done. And they'll sometimes come. I remember Daniel used to come to me and tell me this was such and such. Well, if he hadn't told me, I wouldn't know what it was. But in his head, he knew what it was going to look like when it was an airplane, or he knew what it was going to look like when it was an antenna. And you see an awful lot about what kids see and what they hear, but what they tell you, it met their standard. And sometimes I say, does this look like a cat to you? Because they want to know, is that catty enough that you've got? Well, there's a clear standard and it's a compelling standard. And a clear standard can be clear and not be compelling. So there's really two components in that standard. The standard is clear, but sometimes it's clear, but it's not compelling, but I don't care whether I meet it or not. Sometimes the activity is compelling, but the standards aren't clear. And so you're trying to ask yourself, is the standard clear and is it compelling? If it's not compelling, does it have to be compelling? What would happen if I made it more compelling? Now, how might I make it more compelling? How to design the work so that the standard is more compelling? Or can I do that? Or can I simply say, I can't do that, but the kid still has to meet the standard. Now, what do I give him to do that lead him to want to meet the standard? That's when you start looking at the other kind of things that are linked to it.